Welcome to Romance Unzipped, your happily ever after book club. I'm Holly.
And I'm Annie. We read, write, and obsess about all things romance.
Let's dive in.
Hey!
Hello, everyone.
I'm Annie.
I'm Holly. This is Romance Unzipped.
We are in the spirit of the season.
It is almost Halloween.
The season of the witch.
We read Masks and Mishaps by Rebecca Kinkade.
Just to be so on point.
It wasn't a full Halloween book, but it did have masks, as you can tell from the title.
And the get-together happened on Halloween.
On Halloween night. So felt appropriate.
It was appropriate. So it was a dual point of view, first person, present tense.
And this book was spicy. I would call this a 5 out of 5.
It's a 5 out of 5.
A lot going on.
There's a lot. There's daddy kink. There's one of the themes is cam girls, so there's a lot of video action. There's a lot of dirty talk. There's a lot of very explicit, penetrative scenes in a variety of ways.
He is very interested in her bodily fluid.
Yes,
that comes up a lot. So if you're a fan of people that are ejaculating a lot, then there are some scenes here that you might want to read.
Squirters unite.
Mm-hmm. I think that's on a bumper sticker on your car, right? The setting here is Washington, D.C. They are in a bank.
Yeah, but not just like a bank. They're like
an investment bank.
Power, money, like capitalism, 1% bank.
Yeah, so a lot of the book takes place inside this finance bro world.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, she is a young woman who's trying to claim legitimacy both in that banking world and also with her other career, which is camming. So those kind of themes come up a lot in the book.
Forbidden love is another huge trope. Like that is the main friction for them.
These two are tongue-in-cheek. They keep calling each other brother and sister, and then one of them will be like stepbrother because their parents are about to get married.
Mm-hmm.
So they are best friends. They're in love with each other. They're super attracted to each other. All of that's going on, but they feel like, oh no, we couldn't possibly. That would be too weird for our parents.
Yeah, and how old are they?
He is 29 and she is just about to graduate college, so I'm assuming 22.
Gosh, they're always so like grown up. I'm way older than that. I'm like, God, these people are functional.
She's very well. Part of the story is how logical and poised and professional she is, and that in juxtaposition with what people might expect from a sex worker or from a cam girl.
Right.
So that is an important part of the story. But yeah, for a 22-year-old,
I think she just turned 23. Is that right? I might have made
maybe
that up.
She just turned 23, but she's just about to graduate from Georgetown.
Yeah, I'm going to say at 23, I did not put my younger brothers through school. I didn't have younger brothers.
Yeah, she's got enough money saved up that she can buy her friend's condo.
Yeah, boy, oh boy.
Okay, girl.
23-year-old me, take note. And
this is the third book in a series.
Oh, yeah.
And so it follows, in this third book, Essie, she's the cam girl, but she's got two best friends that also cam, and in fact, they cam together. That's not really on the page in this book, but they are close friends and also sex worker colleagues. And then Dalton, the male lead, his best friends are engaged to her two best friends. So the six of them together are this pack of finance bro, rich, attractive,
cam girl, billionaire combo. We forgot to say it's a male-female romance, and
so Essie is the main female, as we've been describing. She is 5 foot tall. She's half Mexican, and part of her pride for how well she's doing in life, she talks to her younger brothers at one point, is, oh, whoever thought that the three of us, we grew up in LA with a immigrant mother, and now here we are. She ends up at the very end of the book having her company go public on the New York Stock Exchange, and she says, oh, now I'm a billionaire. Mm-hmm. So big rags to riches going on there.
Yes, big rags to riches, but spoiler, she pays off everybody in her company's student loans, so she's not a billionaire anymore.
Yes, she's only a billionaire long enough to take that money and Robin Hood.
Heart of gold, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so then we see her through his eyes, and she has long brown hair, brown eyes, perfect for him body.
Great body.
Yeah, there's most of the descriptions of her are of her body, honestly, and her genitalia. He loves to
He's a
talk.
horn dog.
He's a horn dog.
And he talks about her a lot. And he says it out loud a lot. He's very complimentary of every single thing about her.
Oh yeah, he's like a puppy. Like this mad for her puppy. And I guess she has like kind of lightish brown skin. Maybe like he might describe it as like golden sometimes. And then she, gosh, petite, pretty, that he doesn't go much beyond. There's not a lot of detail.
No, I mean, there's a lot of detail
We know
about
she
maybe
has
her
small
nipples.
brown nipples.
Yeah, that we hear about that plenty. If I had to pick her up in a lineup, I probably couldn't tell just from her face. But if it was just like 6 nipples on the little chart where it says how tall you are, because they committed a crime, I might be able to identify her.
Excuse me, can you ask them to take their tops off? So he is, guess what? He's 6'5".
Yeah, he's
Average
super muscular, ripped, perfect body.
He also has golden skin, but it sounds like more white-toned golden.
I think he's more like a tanned white boy.
Yeah, and then he has light brown, no, what color is his hair?
He's light brown hair, light brown eyes.
Light brown eyes with flecks of hazel, and she does a better job of describing his eyes than he does of describing hers, honestly.
But she just many times will say he's the most beautiful man I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, they're both
I can't even
gaga for each other.
concentrate when I look at him. His smile is the best smile I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's like equal parts smug, wry, playful, and shit-eating grin. Like she's really...
That also kind of describes his personality.
Yeah, like he's so charming and endearing, but then he's kind of this like smug little cocky bastard, but then he's kind of wonderful.
But he's so lovable.
But he's so lovable.
And
Yeah.
in the book, everybody loves him. He just always gets what he wants. And some of the characters are either amazed by it or perhaps jealous of that quality of his. But aside from all those side characters and the way they view him, just as the reader and as
He's
Essie,
got charisma.
he is just irresistible. He is smug a lot.
He's smug, and she describes him as a finance bro. And when I read that in the prologue, I was like, "Ooh, that's like not a compelling phrase for me to want to like get behind a main character." But
He's very ethical.
He's ethical, and also he doesn't like nag anybody. In my mind, like that term is like someone who's kind of like putting other people down so they can feel superior, and there was none of that.
He doesn't need to. He just is superior.
Yeah, there's that.
There is one side character in the book who
He uses his power for good.
He does. He uses his power for good. There's a side character whose really only job is
bad guy.
To be a bad guy and serve the plot in that way. And he really does embody
the dude bro vibes.
The dude bro that you're talking about, where he seems like a nice guy, but just kind of bland and like white toast.
And entitled.
And he's like a nepo baby. It's his dad that owns the bank. But then later on you find out like, oh, that was all an act. He's just getting what he wants, and he's actually a sleazeball who thinks he deserves everything and will do whatever it takes to get there. And that is in stark contrast to Dalton Cavendish. He's got several middle names.
Something the third.
The fourth or the third at the end. Yeah, he comes from money.
Yeah, he is kind of a dreamboat. So he's easy to get behind. And then for their personalities, like he's, as we very much described, like this kind of like joyful Great Dane puppy, like almost too big for his paws, but then also he's this like elegant lion, and he just like prowls around. So he's these two kind of in one. And Essie the whole time is like, he's so great because he's kind of perfect, but he's such a mess because he has this habit of not having a filter and talking a lot. And I'm like, honey, that is not a mess. I would like to direct you to certain time periods of my life to see what a mess looks like.
He
is wildly high functioning.
What'd she call him? $500,000 per year salary plus bonus. He's like a VP at this investment bank.
It's just ridiculous.
He's got a good relationship with his mom. He's got good friends.
He's got health care.
He does have health care.
Essie is like had a very different experience because she had this dad that kind of abandoned them. Her mother passed away. And so it was left to her to basically raise the kids.
Her 3 younger brothers. When she was 14, everything went to shit. Her mom died. Her dad just left because he couldn't deal with things, and so then she had to raise her 3 younger brothers.
Yeah. So she's been like working super hard and that overachieving where people underestimate you because of how you look, and so you have to work 400 times harder than anybody else, and so she's kind of guarded.
That must
rightly
be why she seems so mature and she's got everything together as a 23-year-old.
Parentified.
It's trauma.
Oh, it's trauma. Darn it.
Bummer.
Darn it.
Well, she did right by her brothers. They are successful. I think 2 of them are at MIT and one is at Boston College about to graduate or something like that.
Yeah, she paid for all these like top tier schools. They got into all these top schools. Like they are, she was
nailed it,
heart and soul into the whole thing. So she is fun and very personable, but also she has this very much inside dialogue of like she has to present a certain way in the business world to be taken serious, and is very aware of the fact that she's an attractive, young, petite female. Who is not white, and that people, if she has to like really, I don't know, be super professional and better than everyone, not in a like superior way, but just in a, like, people are going to use any excuse to.
She is well aware of that. This book, the whole thing is a little bit of like a girl power book.
Yeah.
And the author talks about it a bit at the very end, saying, I always knew Essie's character, by the end of the book, I wanted her to, have all this success that she gets. So the author is very intentional about picking a career that often doesn't have any respect. And Essie calls her camming sex work. Certainly by the end of the book, that's how she describes it. So Rebecca Kinkade, the author, is taking this career that doesn't have a lot of respect, that a lot of people treat as, oh, well, it's the
not
best
the
I
finance,
could do.
the cam girl.
The cam girling.
So wait, just to back up, she puts the boys through school. She makes all this money by camming. So of course, she also makes money in finance, but like the thing that got her going, and because she has the job that she has now at the finance is an internship. So she hasn't been like
Just
hand over fist making money. She got all that money from being this persona cam girl. She's like a rich socialite. She gets ready and tipsy and
that's her persona on her camming, and she's so logical and plans things out. And in
she's
real
a
life,
businesswoman.
She doesn't drink. Well, at the start of the book, they talk about how she doesn't drink, but then there's so many scenes where she's drinking. So I was a little confused about that. She's like,
but she's not like a drinker.
Right. She's not a drinker, but her persona is just this party girl.
Yeah, that's what
she's determined that's what's going to get her the most views, the most money, the most tips.
She builds algorithms, and so she built like what is the look that's going to make me the most money? What's the persona? What's the vibe? Like she is very analytical.
Acts?
Yeah, she is a smarty pants.
So she's just like not gamifying, but she's taking all of this information and turning it into what's the highest output I can get. So and she has that same attitude towards the banking world, and she's got this project in her internship. I really wasn't that into the banking side of the book. At one point in time, Rebecca Kinkade described this algorithm she wrote, and she's making more money on foreign exchange transactions, and I was kind of like, okay, let's move on.
Give me some kissing.
Well, I just said that, but then honestly, there was so much sex in this book. It was too much for me.
Yeah.
Not that the author was very clear. She didn't do anything wrong. But as I was reading, I was like, I could do with one less scene where she's squirting on his face and now he's like trying to lick it off the floor. It got a little bit repetitive.
Yeah, I thought that the talk about the financial part was interesting because for me, it's not a part of finance talk that I hear a lot, like the Wall Street stock exchange kind of investing part. So it was like a very easy to swallow amount of information about it. And so I kind of felt smart. I was like, oh, Forex.
Oh, I know what that is.
I know.
You brought up, I think, that the author, Rebecca Kinkade, comes from the finance world.
She used to work on Wall Street. And so this is, I think, very also probably some personal experience because she is a woman who worked in this very male-dominated, very like, I don't know what it's like. I've never worked there, you guys. That's just you might be surprised. But as it's portrayed and as it's written here, like this environment that thrives on kind of toxic masculinity, behaviors of like domination and cutting other people down and trickery, and so it sounds like she has firsthand knowledge of what that's like as not a white dude.
Yeah, and we talked about how Dalton is such an ethical character within the dude bro setting that he's in. He and Essie have conversations where he's saying, I'm not saying it's right or it's fair, but this is not a meritocracy. You're not going to get an offer at the company and have success in this career just because of your talent. You have to go out for drinks with these people. If somebody invites you to dinner, you have to go. And he even tells her, if you're not going to drink, just order, I think like a club soda with lime or something.
Yeah, you got to be like part of the culture of it to get the money from it.
Yes, you have to be accepted. That's
you
part
must
of
golf.
This deal. Right. Yeah, that could have been a sentence. I don't know if he said it, but that's what he was getting at.
Yeah.
So they walk that line, and I think this is Rebecca Kinkade kind of telling people, pulling back the cover, like, oh, look at this bullshit that we have to deal with, because the women just aren't accepted in the same way. She says that people view her as cosplaying at being
a girl cosplaying as being a banker is how she describes herself. Like how she describes
how people view her.
And so it's this.
Although she's super competent.
Oh yeah, and she makes this amazing algorithm, and the boss kind of like disregards it because he doesn't understand it. And Dalton's her champion, so he's great. So the main okay, we have these two characters. They totally like each other. Their friends
They're
are
best friends.
Everything's coming together. He knows about her camming. He supports it, and yet, they can't be together.
They can't be together because they're about to be step siblings.
Yeah, and
for as wild and messy, and they're always kind of flouting society's rules if it's not something that works for them. It does seem a little out of place that the forbidden love component is so strong when they're not real siblings, and they're not step siblings yet,
and they don't very grown and independent.
Yes, and their parents just met each other a year ago, I want to say. It's not like they grew up together, and so that was odd. Most of it comes from both of them feeling such affection and almost like protectiveness of Dalton's mom, that they don't want to hurt her because she's just a gem, and she is a great character. She's very sex positive. She's got a lot of money. She uses it for
pearls.
good. She's just this lovely parental figure for all the people in Dalton's life whose own parents weren't good enough, including even Essie.
Yeah.
Essie's mom was great, but she died when she was 14. And both Essie and Dalton, a trait that they share and that they bond over is that they had shit bags for dads. And that also is a little weird because Alyssa, Dalton's mom, is just like the greatest woman, greatest character. And she's with...
Yeah, that part's confusing too.
Porter,
she's with this guy who's a real kind of
who is
D-bag.
Essie's dad, and we hear so much about the way he abandoned his kids, and now he's sort of come back into their life now that he doesn't have like active fathering to do. And I kept kind of thinking, well, why is this amazing woman with this guy? And she says, oh, he makes me laugh, and I feel things that I haven't felt. But then there's like kind of this big blow up scene where everything comes out and everybody finds out that they're together and she's a cam girl, and it's like hijinks at the dinner table, Thanksgiving dinner table.
Yes.
And after that blow up, Alyssa, Dalton's mom, is so disappointed in Porter's reaction because he's like, oh, daughter, you're a whore, kind of thing. That she calls off the wedding and she breaks up with him. And so all of that tension that caused them to be apart was on a thread of one fight.
Yeah. Well, and it's like in romance novels, there's these beats. And so we need to feel this connection to the characters, see where they're lacking because they don't have the other one, see how the other one kind of fills this hole in their life. And then they see it too. And then often, there's not always, but often there's a third act breakup. Or if it's not between the two of them, there's some kind of obstacle they have to overcome together. And so it's like a drama before the epilogue. Mm-hmm. And so always that's part of storytelling, right? Like, how do I create this factor that makes sense with all the pieces that gets the reader, like me, to feel an emotional response to them having a hardship or being apart? And so you've got to come up with it. That's part of the challenge. So this one, the characters' thought processes were like their emotions felt real, but like the logic of it wasn't logical to me.
The logic was a little light.
Yeah, so
that's a difficult thing about writing, I'm finding. And as reading now, I really notice it. I need those beats as a reader. They're so important. Otherwise, the book is just boring. Even if you like the characters, if you don't have the tension, it doesn't hold you from... Actually, I can handle a few chapters with no tension. That kind of gives me like a warm fuzzy. I'm like, oh, this is so great. But beyond that, I'll just kind of forget about it and I'll stop reading it. So I have to have the tension. Yeah. But I'm hypercritical as a reader of what's causing the tension. And feel so almost like let down or betrayed or something if the event that the author uses isn't legitimate enough. Yeah. And I don't know why I care so much, because I know it's fiction. I'm generally okay with these coincidences where like all 6 friends work at the same company.
Just so
or whatever.
Happens we're all besties.
Right.
It's like Friends.
Yeah, exactly. But with sex work. But we see this a lot in like forums where people are discussing books or reviews of books. It really comes through with the third act breakup. A lot of readers are rejecting the third act breakup.
Yeah,
that seems to be super common. Yeah,
there's a shift. People are like, we don't want to break
up. Let's not have it. I don't want that tension. It feels so fake. And even in books, like when you read about what you're about to read, you know, oh, these are the tropes and this is the setting, and it doesn't have a third act breakup. It's like that popular now to call it out.
But I don't think that in that case it always means that there's not a compelling point of drama there. It's just, it doesn't come from them having a rupture in their relationship.
It usually a shift at that point to us against a problem.
Right, like Hollie got kidnapped out the window. I've got to go get my dog Sophie and save her.
Yes, and so they might still be apart during that third act breakup beat, but it's not because they broke up. They've been pulled apart by a kidnapping or...
Your hair underneath came down. And Hollie, if you're not looking at the video, has this amazing like power mullet of like bright blue on top and then a long kind of rat tail like on the bottom.
You didn't have to use rat tail as a description. You could have just called it a lock of hair.
Your hair is not like a rat tail. True story. I had one in 7th grade with my wedge haircut, so it's embarrassing but true.
But that's not the end. Evidently, there was a time when...
7th grade? It's the start of 7th grade. It's a big deal. I had a new haircut.
When the rat tail, it fell out.
Yeah, no, it was cut too thin. And it came off. So, of course, the solution was to just hot glue it back on. That was my dad. He's like, let's just hot glue it back on.
Yeah, we can fix this problem.
I was like, that's legitimate. It wasn't until years later I was like, that's a little bit funny. Most people don't hot glue their rat tail back on.
That's kind of taxidermy adjacent in a way that you might not want. Anyway, but for me right now, I just have my hair and the wig hair.
Your beautiful brown locks are coming out. Okay, so...
Sorry for that.
They have a not super plausible reason keeping them apart, but it's still compelling to read because they have emotional and mental experiences tantamount to it being something bigger than it is.
Yes, their experiences are big. It's just the outer structure feels a little weak. But otherwise, it's all legitimate inside their minds.
Right, we're like, you can't get across the Atlantic in that rowboat. And they're like, yeah, we can. We got this.
So the way it all kind of comes to a head, the inciting event, is she... because she knows what she wants to get more subscribers and get more money and get more tips, has determined that, I need to bring a man in to my camming session and have sex on a live stream. Yeah, I need the D. And she's got this guy picked out and he's going to show up, but he gets scared off because Dalton is like staring.
Yeah, they do a meet and greet at a bar and it's Halloween. Essie's in her little fairy costume. Dalton's in, I don't know, something
sexy.
And he... It's like, who's this dude talking
staring daggers at this guy.
And so he runs him off and also is making all these jokes about how the guy's like this little scrawny shrimp. He's not, but he's just not Dalton.
Yeah, he's like 6'3" and 200 pounds of muscle. And he's like, oh, that guy's such a weenie little wimp.
So hijinks ensue. she leaves the door open because that's part of the whole plan that they had worked out with her, like, her cameo dick that was going to come. But Dalton comes to see her instead.
And the whole thing with her channel is everybody has to wear a mask.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll talk about masks.
So there's just a note on the floor with her unlocked door that says, don't forget your mask. So he's like, okay. So he pulls his mask down. He walks into the room and she's naked on the bed. I can't remember exactly what she says, but
doing
he's like,
sexy
okay.
things.
So he nails her on camera, and she doesn't have any idea that it's not the guy that it was supposed to be.
She's like, you don't have any characteristics that remind me of my best friend.
Who I'm in love with.
Who I'm in love with, and probably smelled your cologne and know kind of what you smell like and what your body might feel like from a hug, but thank God for fiction.
No idea.
And masks, because masks.
And it like muffled his voice a little, I think. So he is, God bless him, he's this horn dog that's so happy to have her. But in his head, he's like, oh, I'm so sad that I have to have my mask on. Like, I just want to kiss her. And I wish I could tell her all these things because he's so in love with her. So even in that moment when he finally gets what he wants, because he comes all in saying, I love you, I want you, before she does. And she's much more of the practical one saying, well, we can't do this. And he is just lays his heart on the line.
Oh my God,
for her.
he wants it. And he's ready to be like, okay. But then also he's like, oh, we can't.
Yeah, because he wants to protect his mom.
Very
it's
complicated.
Forbidden.
It's forbidden.
So he thinks she's finally like, okay, fine, go ahead. Just, I left the door open. I said, put your mask on,
he's
and
like,
I'm laying naked on my bed.
she has capitulated. She knows that we are meant to be together. And she had agreed with the cameo dick that they had like shared papers and like everybody's clean. So it was the raw dog sitting. And so he's like, fuck yeah.
Okay, let's go. But then afterwards, the live stream ends, and they both, take off their masks, and she's like,
"Oh,
sacre bleu,
sacre bleu."
But then she looks at her earnings, like report, whatever she gets on her phone, is like, oh hell yeah, I'm getting a lot of money.
Yeah, so
Let's
we
keep
can't,
doing this.
But we should until the wedding.
Yeah, so that's their forced proximity. Okay, we've got 4 weeks to the wedding. Let's keep doing this for 4 weeks because as
we can keep this uncomplicated.
Discovers, she just loves earning money.
It's her kink. She has a money-making kink.
Yeah.
Which is also, it was kind of a lot at the beginning, like all this like kind of huge adoration of money, because money is so like complicated of a topic socially, and like the impact it has on people who have it and don't have it and all these things. And this book is like this kind of like unabashed love of being rich. And so it was like, oh, okay, this is a different tone than I'm used to reading, but also kind of fun because it's new. But then that was a fun twist when he kind of figures it out, because he's like, I know you. And she's like, you don't know me. And then he realizes, oh, I'm getting in the way of her getting what she wants, and I want to give her whatever she wants. So I will fuck her on camera with a mask on, because what she wants is to make money from camming. She loves it. She has a kink about making money from camming.
And she likes particularly knowing that she is taking money from men who she basically is exerting this power over them, and they're just giving her tips, and it's almost like she's exploiting them, and that's part of the kink for her. It's not so much that she wants the money, but she wants to make the money. The balance growing isn't where it's at, but it's just watching like, oh yeah, another tip came in, another. And he realizes he feels the same way when he gets a deal with his banking world.
It's like an adrenaline high.
He gets that rush.
Yes,
it's not that he needs the money.
It's a win.
But it's a win.
Yeah.
So they bond over that.
They bond. And they're both very driven. I was like, I would not fit in this relationship. Like, I have drive and I like to do things, but I'm not someone who like gets out of bed. I'm like, I'm gonna close some deals today.
Yeah.
There's just a personality that's just like so driven.
They are very driven.
Yeah, she like that's what she likes. She says that at one time. She's like, who am I kidding? It's so sexy that like he spends 14 hours a day at the office making money. I was like, oh, wow.
I'm happy that you two found each other, because a lot of potential partners would not like that.
Yeah, and they both like masks. So
yes.
Okay, side note, there is a mask trend afoot in the romance novel world, and it's not like brand new. It's been at least a couple years, but it's kind of like how when people notice like your cam girl algorithm, like this is successful, I might try that. Or maybe you got like, that was hot, I want to write one too. So there's this kind of growing body of, if I go and look at, digital libraries, like many of them, especially in the dark romance, there's a mask on the cover. And I'm like,
part of that too might be because you read one, so now your internet's like, oh, we know her. The only thing she cares about in the whole world is masks. Oh, you bought a vacuum cleaner? Maybe you want to buy 6 more.
It's like a vacuuming stalker with a mask on.
Yeah, no, I've seen, especially on the cover art of books, that
it's just like a mask with like eyes.
A mask, or maybe there's a face behind it, but maybe not.
Okay, someone can tell us, but I do think it's a growing body of work in this subgenre.
I think so.
So it's interesting, and I'm sure there was it this book that talked about it, of like what the mask element is, of like why women in particular like are drawn to that?
Yeah, she talks a little bit about it. It's at the beginning when she's trying to convince this cameo dick to come in and have sex with her, and she's got all these rules about like the role play that they're going to do, and he's just kind of like, can't I just have sex with you? She's like, no, we're going to do it this way because that's going to get me more money. Like, how are you a successful camer? She's bitter that he's just like winging it, and she's putting all this
swinging it.
Yes, that too. She's putting all this effort in, and so it's a good setup because it's explaining to the reader, but it doesn't feel boring because it's her explaining to this doofus.
Yeah.
But she's saying, oh, the mask, it's showing how hot you are for this person, that you're willing to be so vulnerable, and you don't even see their face, and you don't even know who they are, and it's just like a physical response and a physical attraction that you don't even know who this person is.
And it's like the fear part too, of like arousal, but in this context it's safe, and this kind of like, the phrase body betrayal is very slippery because it's definitely associated with stuff that people don't want, but it's that part, it's like the happy cousin of that, of the like, oh, it's dangerous, but I am delighted. Come and vacuum my floor.
So she does give a more concise and eloquent rendition of what we just tried to say, of why the masks are maybe growing in popularity and what the appeal is.
I thought it was really well done too, because I was like, masks?
Yeah,
and then I was like, oh, okay, there's like, this is the thoughtful theory behind it. And also, it's just not my super kink, the mask thing. I respect it. I like to read it here and there, but I'm not like, oh, I want someone to come through my window with a mask. Please don't ever do that, anybody.
And so this book, like I said, there's a lot of sex in it. Their entire relationship and their emotional relationship is told through sex.
Because Essie can't emotionally let down her guard. So that's the way she's willing to open up. And he's like, I'll take whatever you can get me, but I'm gonna like, it's kind of the opposite. Usually a dude's like, I'll just emotionally snowstorm her until I can get my dick in there. And now he's like, I'll get my dick in there until I get my love in.
Yeah, that's his...
The love in the oven, because he wants to have her babies
too. He does, yeah. He wants to marry her. And he tells her, he's pretty honest about it.
Yeah.
There are not miscommunications in this book. Well, aside from the fact that initially she doesn't know she's having sex with him, but which is kind of a big one. But he's very honest with her, and she's honest with him, and they will even have conversations like, oh, this is just going to hurt
you're
more.
So great.
I love you, if only.
You're the best.
So that was refreshing.
Yeah.
But so their growth is through the sex scenes, so those serve a purpose. I will say, even though there was a lot of sex, it wasn't purely, like IKEA sex, where it's like insert part A into part B.
I've never heard that phrase.
Oh yeah, like it was very IKEA emotionally.
Sex.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, no, I get you, but also IKEA sex seems complicated because there's a manual, but nothing ever fits.
I know. You know the little drawing they have at the beginning where it's always that like weird looking cartoon with like 3 hairs that come out, and it's just a guy like
he's like,
tipping it the wrong way.
Easy.
Yeah. Anyway, this book doesn't fall into that trap where the sex is
super repetitive or basic.
and just physical.
Yeah.
It's very emotional.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
But still, for me, it was just a little much. I was kind of like, okay, I've already read this. I get it. He really, really likes her. He thinks she's super hot. But for some people, if that's your thing, man, go to town. Particularly, like I said before, there's a lot of focus on bodily fluids, both his and hers.
Yeah, yeah. There would be a lot more sheet changing than they talk about.
Yeah.
It's like this stuff happens off page. It is well written, and Rebecca Kinkade, the author, is so good with the banter and the dialogue, especially Dalton's. Like his humor is hilarious, and also I think I really liked how Essie describes Dalton's goofiness, and so the writing was fun because she took this character, especially of Dalton, that could be really kind of a two-dimensional flat thing, and he was larger than life, and like I liked him. And when I was making jokes about some of the things he said to Hollie, because it's really funny. You're like, oh my God,
funny.
this is hilarious. So the writing is good, and the dialogue and banter is good. So there is a lot of sex, but also it's not just like, it's well written as far as the characters. I liked listening to them.
Yeah, and everything we're talking about with Dalton, what his personality is, that is through what he says and what he does. It's not like she's saying, hey, everybody, like he's charming.
Yeah.
He is just a charming guy in the way he's talking to her and talking to the people around him.
Totally.
So it's great. The character development is pretty good.
It's super good. I read a book once, and I had to stop it because the one of the characters was describing the other, and it's like, he's really funny, but there wasn't anything funny he said, and she just kept saying how funny he is. I'm like, I don't know.
I don't really want to just take your word for it.
It's not coming across. So this is all, like it feels like you're sitting there watching a interaction between people, and you're like, ooh, exciting.
There was a running joke Rebecca Kinkade had. It was more like the setup of the joke. The joke itself wasn't repetitive, but where either Dalton or Essie would say something like, oh, this is the worst whatever, or the best whatever. They'd mention some superlative and then say, and that's really saying something because, and then they would give this like outlandish scenario. So for example, she's like, oh, this is the most awkward sex I've ever had, and that's impressive because one time I was going down on a guy, and mid blowjob I found out he was a flat earther. And that type of joke is repeated all throughout the book, and they all made me laugh because at a certain point you read the first half of the sentence, you're like, okay, I know where this is going, like, and what's going to be the punchline this way, and they were very clever and just weird. I mean, absurd, like, little
flat earther. Gotta go.
And it's both like a negative and a positive superlative when it comes up.
Yeah, that is funny.
I appreciated that because I've heard that joke before, but she really owned it.
Yeah, and just quick side note, talking about penises, because we weren't, but we are now.
Well, we are now.
So in this book they like give all his measurements, which is it's like circumference, length, which was really interesting. And so then we did some. If
you remember geometry, you could calculate the volume.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we did some home approximation and online researching.
Oh yeah, here, let me.
And we brought some props for you.
Okay.
Let's not show the brand because we haven't been sponsored by anyone.
This is the
approximate circumference.
Here, let me angle it a little bit.
There you go.
And this right here is about 6 inches tall.
So it's another 3.
Yeah, he's 9 to 9.5.
Yeah.
And he described it as 6.5 around.
That's a lot of.
And I've never heard anyone just in inches give the circumference.
No, he's like just drops it in conversation.
Well, she says, please tell me. Like,
oh yeah,
she wants to know.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, tell me how big it is. And he's like 6.5 around. She's like, oh.
Yeah. Oh. And I liked it because she is looking at him naked and he's like fully erect, and she's talking about how heavy his parts are. I love how I just can't say the word right there. And so like, even though he's erect, he's like hanging down. And I've never read that in a romance novel. And I've read a lot of romance novel descriptions of naked erect men. And it was like reasonable. Like it seems like basic kind of gravity.
Like a cantilevered dick.
Yeah.
Just,
it's too heavy. But like they'll talk about like, oh yeah, this 12-inch monster baby seal clubber, and it's like that sounds really bad. Sorry everybody. And it's like sprung like all the way up to his abdomen. I'm like, is this like in the logic of physics and mathematics? Is that
I have taken a lot of physics classes, but that we haven't covered that.
That'd be amazing. You're like, I have a question.
Assuming the specific gravity of blood.
Yeah.
Pardon me.
Would it, given if you had the circumference and the length, would it just be, you could use those to determine the weight and then like the...
I mean, you'd have to know the density.
So different densities. I guess it's like breasts. There's different densities.
Is it? Can you, because you know how breast tissue can be like...
Different?
Yeah. And that like determines how often you get mammograms and stuff.
Romance novel writers, take note. We're going to need a little bit more.
This is getting less sexy.
But
yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming penises are sort of all the same and blood's all the same.
But it could be different. We don't know.
I don't know.
We do not know. So if this is your PhD,
yeah,
sure, I'll post the DM. But anyways, it was just interesting because it seemed like a realistic portrayal of a body part, given all these measurements that they had just provided. I don't know.
I mean, part of the reason why they're talking about these measurements is there's certainly a kink in this book. Oh, it's too big, and will it
size
fit?
Difference galore.
Oh my God, yeah, that they just keep hammering that home.
Because she's like 1.5 feet taller than her.
Yeah, she's petite and he's monstrous.
Big dude. Yeah, so it's like 2 of her across. So I think that's kind of like the scoop. They do end up together, and they triumph over the bad guy. They catch him in a very scandalous.
The bad guy at work realizes that she cams and that the two of them are camming together. He's going to
blackmail her.
So he's going to blackmail both of them, and you're not going to get the internship or the full-time job offer.
Go down
on me. Sex with me, and she is so logical and smart about this. She sets up this whole trap where he comes to her house and she's like, okay, fine, let's have sex. And he's laying on the bed and she like straddles him, and then Dalton walks in and straddles him as well, and they just start like making out and having sex on top of his body, and she is recording it while it happens, and then they just show that at work and everybody's like, oh, you got cucked. I'm like,
yeah,
that's a very interesting revenge strategy.
A lot of HR boundaries crossed.
Yeah, so they end up quitting / getting fired, and then they make their own company. And this book, yeah, you know what? They never talked about HR in this book. You're right.
The legalities of that one are pretty dicey.
And it was the president's son, which has got to make it worse.
I feel like there would have been a little more blowback.
Yeah.
But who knows? We don't know. Wade, I don't work. I don't work there, so.
This book had 2 epilogues, and it just said epilogue 1, epilogue 2. That part was a little weird to me. I don't think I've seen that before. And the first epilogue was only 6 months later, and I am not a fan of the not much time has elapsed epilogue, because as far as I'm concerned, that's just a chapter. And maybe this is me being pedantic over the title, but it's not really different than all the other chapters we just read. And not much has changed in their life where I need to hear the new events, because they're not really new events. So at first I was like, well, not great. But then there was a second epilogue, and it was 6 years later. And I was like, okay, here we go. What has changed? And a lot did. All of these couples that we meet, they've all married up. Most of them have kids.
Oh, yeah.
Essie's got, I think, 1 kid at this point in time.
She's just had a baby.
Yeah.
Like, she just had this baby, and they're going to go to the New York Stock Exchange because their business went public, and their business is...
It's like a new camming site, I guess like OnlyFans, but it doesn't take a cut of the tips from the performers, because I can't remember if it was in this book or if I just read this separately.
No, she talks all the time about the percentages.
But talking about how, like, for too long, maybe this was reading something from the author, that... the way camming works and sex work works is that women do all the work and men get the money. And so this business was a chance to like let the money stay with the performers.
Yeah.
I was going to say athletes, but that's not right. Sometimes I'm sure they're very athletic, but the talent gets to keep their percentage, and they don't have to give money back to the website. Now, this was all great, and I was like, yeah, girl power, although I didn't understand how they made money on this business. Maybe it's through ads. They didn't really get into that.
They didn't get into it. I think the sheer volume of it, because they did have to pay
you have to
for
pay. She said something like a few dollars a month to like be on the site. So
maybe that's the
you have
sheer
that
volume. Also, they were also really, really wealthy. But when they sold it, they made a buttload of money. So there was some way that they made money. We don't know because we don't do algorithms or this kind of banking.
But it was very happy in the epilogue. They had
it was Triumph
everything
City.
they wanted. And the tree house that he went to as a child when he was sad because his dad was such a a-hole. Yeah. They like transported that from his childhood home to their new home so they could continue to have sex on the floor of the treehouse against the wood. There was a lot of talking of how like I'm laying on the wooden floor.
Some good finish they have.
You could get like a bed or a rug.
Yeah.
But
it's just very well polished. No splinters.
No.
Nobody wants a splinter.
No, you'd need somebody else to help you because you couldn't reach it.
No, it's bad news. So yeah, it's kind of too like she takes this like super business mind, gives legitimacy to this oft maligned and
often exploited,
mocked, super exploited industry, and kind of elevates it and legitimizes it, and then also empowers everyone who works for them by paying all their student loans. And
yeah, that was a fun little touch.
It was fun. She's like, screw billionaires. And so yeah, it was like happy ending. I think it's probably that's the end of this.
I think that's the end of the series.
But I feel like Rebecca Kinkade will probably write more books. It seems
she
like there's
has
a
quite
role.
a few.
Mm-hmm. So it was really fun to read. It's perfect for your Halloween candy. If you need a little, stick it to the man, literally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you like masks light, like you don't want the scary stalker coming in with a mask, but you like sexy mask, this is a good approach too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for joining us.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, and we will see you next week.
Okay.
Happily ever after.
Bye.